We're gonna get you.
Yeah.
After the what's the tea?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I like how you have the frame.
What up, family?
What's going on, people?
What's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Anna DeShawn and the Cute Crew.
Cute Crew.
Right here on E3 Radio, your number one stop for queer radio done right. We're broadcasting live from a long walk home today. Y'all see our ambiance is different?
It is. We have a gold mic, people. Look.
How she just gonna move the mic, though? You see, we sorry for everybody that's listening on here.
I'm sorry. But, you know, I had this. We done upgraded. Oh.
That's how you do it?
That's how I do it.
Oh, okay.
Hey, people. Come
Hey.
on into the room.
Come on in the room. Like that. Let me do that song. Come on in the room.
I'm sorry, people, that you guys had to hear and partake in all of that.
You know that song. It come on every Sunday on B103 for like the last 25 years. I've been alive for 34.
I'm sorry that you guys had to endure that. Where the people at? Where they at?
I'm
Where
telling
they
the
at?
people we here. I'm telling the people we here so they can join us.
Oh, okay, all right.
We haven't been on for a couple of weeks and we miss y'all.
Right, we got to tell y'all what y'all missed if you did not attend the Purple Tie Affair.
Right.
We got to catch y'all up.
And that's what we doing tonight, actually. Because guess what? We got special guests.
We do.
And she the business.
Yes, she is.
She over there.
Y'all can't see her yet.
She gonna be joining us in just a minute.
Y'all can't see her yet.
ED
Right.
of a long walk home.
Hey, sister, I see you.
Hey y'all, come on in the room. We're excited to be here tonight. Always Thursdays at 8 o'clock here on E3 Radio. Always keep you in the know about what's going on. So you know how we start the show, always with the what's the tease about what's going on in the news or you know what we think is important for y'all to know. So Radio Wife, what you got?
So I was reading an article, and you may be a little bit more versed in this than I was. But I was reading an article. Oh Lord, that's not the article. But I was reading an article. So I guess the Orange Man.
Oh yeah, 45.
Well, whatever his number is. 54. I don't know. But the Orange Man had his what's this gentleman name? Colin, his Speaker of the House, or the Speaker, not the female, a rep, come in to represent him because clearly he finally addressed the wife of a war hero who happened to pass or die in the line of duty.
Oh, I heard about this.
You heard about the story?
Mm-hmm.
And he made the comment to say he knew what he was getting into. He was trying to quote someone else, but of course he could not finish. He didn't finish the statement, and someone overheard that. Of course, the mother of the soldier thought that President Trump was extremely disrespectful in the delivery. I guess he was trying to say that he knew exactly what he was doing. He signed up for this. He wouldn't have had it any other way. And I'm paraphrasing. But however, as the Orange Man always does, he has someone to try to clean up his messes, his blurps. And then he tries to attack those individuals who have now exposed him for the fraud that he is. So, what do you know about that story?
I mean, Orange Man is an idiot. So he does like idiotic things about 50 times a week. And it's really hard to keep up with all the stupid things he does. So this was just like one of the 50,000. Like, I get CNN notifications and it'd be like, Trump has done this. And then there'll be another one like 10 hours later be like, we've reversed what he did. And then it's like, we fixed it. I mean, he does stupid things all day. I mean, even the idiotic things around Puerto Rico, like, that's my what's the tea. Like, y'all, these people still don't have clean water.
And actually, they won't even have electricity until December.
Right. They are U.S. territory. And he's complaining because they're in debt. Why are they in debt? You think the USA had nothing to do with that?
No, he said that they were lazy, too.
Lazy. I mean,
Yes.
it's unimaginable, the type of BS that comes out of that dude's mouth. He's leading the country. Also, North Korea is like the worst beast to unleash.
Oh yeah.
And he's just all over that. So I don't think this is just one of the 50,000 idiotic things that he's done.
But hold on, getting back to Puerto Rico, did you see
Yeah.
the video where he called himself, he was there in Puerto Rico, and he called himself he was supposedly passing out items for the
he was throwing paper towels.
the victims, and literally he was throwing paper towels as if though like
He's
here,
he's so
here,
ignorant.
this is all you're worth. Here, this is, you know what I'm saying, you know, like, fuck you. That's pretty much what it kind of boiled down to. Like, you know,
that's what he thinks of you.
Right, that's exactly what he thinks. That's like you throwing your dog a bone.
Yeah,
And that's really what it was. It was a bone being thrown to the people in Puerto Rico and saying, well, shit, I'm here. Now what?
Right.
Accept it.
Aren't y'all happy I just showed up?
I showed up. And then the part that kills me is that he always, him and his administration, always try to do a comparison of Barack Obama, because the aide, going back to that story, the aide was like, well, I don't recall President Obama calling any wives of people who were killed in war, or reaching out to the families of the deceased of the war victims. I don't recall President Obama. How the freaking frack would you know?
He don't know. What up, family? This is enough for 45. I can't take him. He puts me in a bad mood. What up, y'all? Cleo, what's going on,
Cleo,
fam?
what's going on? What'd she say? 45 said he spoke to the
president of Puerto Rico. Yeah, whatever. So he talks to himself, right? Good evening. What's up, don't want to? Anthony, hey, y'all. What's going on? RC, appreciate y'all joining in the room. Y'all know what we like y'all do. Share the video.
Absolutely.
Tell them we're tuning in and broadcasting from a long walk home tonight. We're going to be presenting. We got our friend, Char's over there. She going to join us in a little
Char is little.
How you going to make her that little, though?
Well, I mean,
little.
She's short and she little.
You short.
I'm taller than Char.
Don't do
I'm
it.
taller than Char. I'm finally taller than someone, so I feel good. I
You
feel
see
great.
this hater busy today.
That's not hater. That's just, you know what I'm saying? It feels good to, you know, of course not be the shortest one in the room.
This is that face I gotta give her sometimes. The radio wife, sometimes she gets that face.
Really?
Really? What up, family? I'm so glad y'all joined. Share the video. Tell the good people that you're tuning in to E3 Radio. And y'all know the deal. This is about the time that we would have a sponsored advertisement, because y'all know that's what we're doing here. So if y'all know a business that wants to sponsor and get this airtime, if you're tuning in, think about all the other people that are tuning in, and think about the reach they could have if they bought this spot.
What up, Mel?
See that? I can smile while I do it too.
See, that was her
Like
that was her plug for business, to get advertisements, and that would have been your commercial.
See that? And now it's over. But it gets replayed. See? The value is the replay. What's going on, Mel? What's up, family?
Lord Jesus.
So, our other what's the tea? Before we just actually get into the meat of this show, we got a lot to talk about. Char's tuning in too. You know what I'm saying? We got to get these numbers up.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So, did you hear that about Colin Kaepernick filing his official grievance with the NFL owners?
No.
Did you hear about this? So he actually filed an official grievance. So people have been complaining because they said like he's been really silent, he's been really quiet, like, you know, everyone's fighting on his behalf, but where is he? Which I think was a little unfair, considering that he started this whole movement, and they have actually blacklisted him from getting a job. But just this week, he did file an official grievance against the NFL owners, saying that they did in fact blacklist him, how he cannot get a job because he stood up for this, you know, because he stood up for black people, and the injustices happening to them, specifically around the police. So I just, you know, I have much respect for this dude. I mean, he was a really fantastic football player. 3 years ago, taking the 49ers to the Super Bowl, you know. I mean, he stood up for what he believes in. I think history will always look back on him in a favorable light.
Absolutely.
I think the current situation, though, is that he just filed a grievance probably against 20 of the 1%ers. And he will most likely probably not get a job in the NFL again. And so that's pretty much what happened when he filed this grievance. And so, you know, he's going to have to find a second career.
Well, here's my question though. When they already, didn't they, after he did his protest, didn't they already blacklist him to the point to where he had not been working?
Right. And he's been trying to find work, and no one's picked him up. And I think what happened was when no one picked him up, and he said, fine, forget it. I am going to file this official grievance, you know,
as he
through my lawyers, as he should. And I think that, you know, now he's just going to need to find him another job, his second career. Because the NFL, I can't see any owner or anybody picking him up at this point.
But you know what? It's funny. I don't know if you are very, very closely related to sports. So did you see when, or the rumor is supposed to go around where the National Football League is now getting ready to charge the owners if they do not hold their athletes, their players, accountable for making sure that they honor the flag or stand up and do something, salute the flag. They can't, in other words, they can't sit down, they can't kneel, they can't do any of that during the time of the national anthem.
Yeah, I mean, but the players that really want to do it, they're going to do it anyway. They got the money to pay the fines. But it's ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's why the NFL is not leading the way as far as professional sports are concerned. That's why the NBA is sort of taking over what the sports market can be, and NFL players don't get paid much of anything in comparison to NBA players that are getting paid like $150 million a year because of television deals. Like they're just not growing because they have this very old white man mindset about how to lead or not lead. And I think it's just really unfortunate. And I think that Colin is finding himself in this blacklist, and that, you know, he's going to have to find another career at a young age.
That is
right?
true.
Because, like, that's the whole thing with these athletes. Like, they're all under 30. No one plays football until they're 40. It's impossible. And so he's a young guy. He stood up for what he believed in, and he's getting punished for it. And
him and Kathy Griffin should go into business together.
Kathy Griffin.
What's her name? Yeah.
You a mess.
Whatever her name is.
That lady was out of control.
No, but you know what? Here's the thing. She gave a sincere apology at that time.
That lady.
At that time.
Y'all know what this lady talking about.
At that time, she gave a sincere apology. I mean, yeah, she said, hey, I'm a comedian. I pushed too far. I went too far. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So I apologize.
Yeah.
So then she started to get bullied and harassed by the Trump administration. So now at this point in time, I'm getting bullied and harassed. I'm getting threatened. All of that. Well, then I took my goddamn apology back. Fuck you. Yes, I meant that shit.
Well, she meant it in the first place. Just
I
just don't show somebody being decapitated all over the place and like your whole head.
There's a video with Snoop Dogg, and he's actually shooting. There's a person who's portraying to be Trump, and he's shooting him up.
That's no better. That's not good.
It's in the video. I mean, did you guys pay attention to the cipher? Did you guys watch the BET Awards and pay attention to the cipher for Eminem? I've always loved him, but now I love him even more. Just lyrically, he is a beast. Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is there's always plenty to talk about on these here What's the Teeth. But I'm ready to get into this show.
Yes.
Ready to get into this show?
Yes.
We got a special guest, y'all.
Yes.
Char, what's happening, sis?
Watch how small she is. She's little, guys.
We gotta get her in the middle, dude.
Right.
We gotta switch spots.
Oh my God. I have a shorter seat.
You want the big chair?
There we go.
Okay, I'll sit back.
Hey, welcome our special guest.
Yay.
Honored to be
Welcome
here.
to the show. So you've joined
Thanks
us
for
over
having
the
us.
phone before,
Yes.
but never on Facebook Live.
Never. Yeah.
Family, give her likes and hearts and say hi.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
What's going on? So this year we honored
A
A Long Walk Home, your organization this year. We had a great time at the Purple Tie Fair. We had special performances by Toby Khalid and Cleopocalypse and Debo, Deborah. Folks may know her. Everybody's giving you love. And we just had a really great time with the silent auction and community. And we were just happy to just be able to give to a long walk home. So there's some people probably tuning in that don't know.
It's a special night.
Yeah. Don't know who a long walk home is. So maybe we should just start there.
Right.
Or you can tell the good people about the organization.
Yeah. So nice to have you guys here doing the show here. So Long Walk Home is an organization that I started with my sister, Salome Tillett. We're actually celebrating our 15th year anniversary next year.
Woo.
So we've been around a while, and that's a lot to say for like a Black women-led organization.
Oh, it
Yeah. Everything is a battle, right? Just to keep us centered and to keep us going.
Mm-hmm.
But we started it in 2003, where it began from my photographs, where I documented my sister's story of healing from sexual assault. Mm-hmm. And I, as a sister, did it to there was what I knew, right? I think so many things about how do we enter into help people, how do we enter in a movement. I was studying photography, and I was looking at her healing process as a hard thing that she was going through, but I was at awe at healing. I was at awe at someone's capability to survive that and work on themselves. It was the most courageous thing I could ever see anyone doing, and I wanted to honor that in some way, and also really celebrate that in some way with the photography, right? Mm-hmm. And so I did this project that who knew it was going to lead into much more. And I photographing her for 10 years, and made it into a multimedia performance, kind of that's what I loved about the Purple Tie event. It was so different, using all the different arts, but I used music and dance and photography to tell the story about what healing looks like. And so that's how we began, through sisterhood, through the arts, through centering Black women's stories, and then we grew, wanting to do more work. We still do SOARs, actually. It's our 20th year anniversary next year with SOARs, which is scary. I started that project in 1998.
Wow.
But so much has shifted, and so much is still the same, right? Mm-hmm. And so we now do, in addition, a program for girls, using some of those things that we've learned in terms of being artists and activists, and we do a training program for young girls, particularly on the west side of Chicago, training them to be activists and artists around gender just work. So yeah, those are some of the things I'm really passionate. I can talk more about the girls because I'm really passionate about that work. Yeah. But I was so honored by the Purple Tie event, because I think that's how we're going to end this. It takes the community. It takes you celebrating your birthday and imagine if more and more people did those kind of moments like the Purple Tie, for sacrifice a celebration of oneself and gave it to the community. I just think we would be in such a different place. So that's why I was so honored to have a Long Walk Home be part of the organization that you chose to share this year.
Yeah. Y'all got that?
Did y'all?
It's just amazing work that you're doing with the young women and the girls, and particularly the Black sisters on the west side and south side, and just in the city of Chicago, and using art, because art is just in us.
It is.
Right? It's just music is in us. People want to paint even though they can't paint. People want to take pictures even though you're terrible at taking a picture, don't know how to frame up anything. It's just we just want to express ourselves through art all the time. And I think, so I got, do you know Veronica Precious?
Yes, Art therapist.
Yes. So she commented on our picture. On our video, she's like, "There's 3 art therapists in this picture." And and I was like, black art therapists, right? And I was like, "It showed Liz, we had a great time with the Purple Tie." And I was like, "Wait, I know 2 of them. Who's the third one?" She's like, "Second one, black." I was like, "Oh, sweet." But art therapy for Black folks is an amazing way to release, and I find that even people I know that have coloring books. It's their way of a therapeutic way of just relaxing. And art therapy is just a large extension of what someone can do with a coloring book as an adult to sort of just work through really hard times. And I think oftentimes first off, there's just like negative perceptions about what therapy is in general. Yeah. But art therapy, people can't wrap their heads around. Yeah. But it's so powerful for Black folks in a very special way. So I think that the fact that you all use art to work through it is like really, really dope.
Yeah. I think that like I'm always interested in whatever gets someone in the room for help. Right? So like, you know, we have so many untreated people, right, on this earth, you know. And I think if everyone was able to be their full healthy self, right, we would be just live in a different world. And particularly in terms of access to people of color, low-income people, like getting treatment. And so how do you do that? So Girlfriends kind of comes from that. Our Girlfriends Leadership Program comes from that basis, where it's like getting people help, but also like the Girlfriend Program, the arts are used to heal, but also to create activism. And you know, art plays such a big part in movements. You don't go to any protest in this country without it being music and dance or
really dope signs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and we literally like teach that history to our girls. They teach the history of like Elizabeth Catlett and Nina Simone and how the social movements have always used the arts as a place to tell one's voice. So how can art be used also to heal? Because, you know, you can't go in the front lines without doing the work yourself.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's like a really important thing I think that we do, and that's how we use art therapy in that way. But then we also use the art to like engage in learning and engage in like activism to transform those systems that disempower them. Right? So like how do you kind of use art as a catalyst for different things?
Yeah.
Sorry.
What up, family? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We are here in a Long Walk Homes home. We're in our homes. Here, I don't want to tell y'all where we are. You can't come visit. Not today. Not today.
You can't.
Not today. One other thing that's been happening. Have y'all been seeing the Me Too campaign on Facebook? Have you seen that, B?
No.
I've seen it.
The Me Too?
Streaming?
Yeah. Have y'all seen the Me Too campaign? Let us know in the chat. I'm following y'all if y'all seen the Me Too. So that was started as a way of solidarity for people who have experienced like sexual assault, harassment, rape, to put on their Facebook walls Me Too as a sign that I too have been affected by this. And or a survivor and or a victim, however you want to define yourself. And then some people actually like shared their own story on those posts as well. And so people chose like either they wrote Me Too or they told a story or they did both. And so as to show the impact, right? Especially around this like Harvey Weinstein, whatever that dude name is. Whatever that dude. And all of that that's going on, and it's sort of I don't know. It wasn't birth because she had it. It's been going on, but it sort of just started taking its own life as of the last week or so. And so I think it's just fitting that we're sitting here talking with you. It just happens to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Can I just interject and say, and this is probably so inappropriate, but I
depend on you for that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I'm so glad that the person that is in the forefront and in the firing squad is someone of another color other than black.
Oh, Harvey?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, because they rode. And either you like them or you don't, good, bad, indifference, doesn't matter. You either agree or you don't agree, but they rode.
Talking about good old Cosby?
Yeah, they rode Bill till he couldn't be rode anymore. And it was as if though that Hollywood or that this has never happened before, or it didn't affect them per se. It was this black man, you know, with these white women, or, you know, other colored women, but it was this black man, and of course it was like he was demonized. And again, I'm not condoning anything, but it feels good at this particular point in time, and I so feel for the victims, but it is about time that one of their own was in the forefront in the firing squad at this point.
I think there's been other people that have been in the firing squad, and I also think Cosby deserved his own firing squad.
Yeah, he did. Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yes,
They all deserve a firing squad.
Absolutely. But this had not really been, you know what I'm saying, in regards to anything dealing with Hollywood or anything dealing with the movies, it's kind of been shoved, because this has been going on for quite some time. So this is, and the funny part is that his company knew about it. But this has been shoved under the rug. He has paid people out. He has done X, Y, Z, and nobody said anything. Even during the process of when Cosby was going through what he was going through, somebody else could have came out and said, hey, I'm a victim of, you know, this Weinstein guy, or whatever the hell his name is. But nobody said anything. It was like, we're going to let this play out, and we're going to hope that this miss us. The shit is hitting the fan, and unfortunately the shit is not hitting our building. Now the shit is hitting your building.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, well, first off, I think that anything that's in the dark will come to light eventually.
Absolutely.
I think that the women that came forward against Harvey built up enough courage to do so, and they knew they weren't the only ones, right? And I think what's been really interesting to me about that one is that how many people are coming out and saying, I'm apologizing for not speaking up.
I like that part.
Well, it's refreshing, but it's also part of the problem. It's also part of it that like really disgusts me, because that's like the same silence that black folks experience growing up in our communities all the time. Like, we keep secrets, we don't talk about it, you know, the uncle that, you know, sexually assaulted, you know, whoever still comes to family functions, we don't talk about it. It's normalized. And that happens in black communities, Latino communities, all communities.
It happens all
and that's the silence that is deadly. Like, the silence that they're coming out, I think Tarantino came out and said, like, he's apologizing for not speaking up, and all the other people are apologizing for not speaking up. But they are just as much part of the problem as Harvey was, because they all knew and they all condoned it.
And I hear what you're saying. But so even in the black community, unfortunately when people are victimized, they tend to, the predators tend to mess with people of young nature. When you have a greater influence and you could terrorize them to the sense that if you tell, I'm going to do X. Does it make it right? No. So of course, you know, we as children, you know, we're fearful of a lot of things, so we don't say anything. With Tarantino and people like that, for them, it was, especially knowing that their company, that this man's company was paying for, it was, I mean, do I say anything? Do I hurt my chances of my possible career? Does it make it right? Absolutely not. But in the sense, it now gives them a platform. Would anybody have listened back then to a Tarantino when he wasn't famous and would have given him a platform? Again, it doesn't make it right. But now you could do something about it, unfortunately, at somebody else's expense.
I guess this is what I was getting at about how powerful the Purple Tie event, Purple Tie affair was, because it actually really does just takes the community to hold accountability.
It does,
right? So no matter what level, you're talking about positional power, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To like the person has, but I think it takes family members to talk out about it. It takes, like, you know, because most of the things do happen in our home.
It does.
Right? So I think that's, like, we have to, like, start addressing that. But I think it's holding, you know, these people saying that they're sorry, they should, you're right, that silence is deadly.
It is.
You know? But I think what I think is really going to end this is this accountability, is the community accountability, and for people to really step up when things are happening, whether it's the continuum of sexual violence, right? So whether it's, and that's what's the Me Too campaign, when we saw it, was kind of amazing, because you saw people talk about sexual harassment cases to actually sexual assault and calling out and putting them. It was, I mean, I remember like just going through my Facebook feed and it being slightly very overwhelming to and I, you know, I do this work for like, I've been in the field for like 20 years, and I mean, just because it's like people, everyone's case, everyone's story means something, right? And I think that was the whole point, to like be like, everyone has had some kind of, on the continuum of sexual violence, most women have experienced those things, and like what would happen if we, by choice, right, like whoever wants to share their stories. And so I think as these things were happening in Hollywood and people were, you know, I actually saw, I forgot what a black man who's a famous actor, he spoke out about it as well.
I missed it.
Yeah, there's an article about that, and Lupita came out today in the New York Times talking about her experience as well. So there's this, not only are white women, but like, you know, like there's this
people that you can relate to, and and unfortunately, unfortunately makes it a relatable situation, because if you're someone like you know, Christina Aguilera, or someone like Brooke Shields, or someone who had this issue, then it's like, oh my God, this happened to you. You?
Yeah, exactly.
So you weren't afraid to tell your story? Oh my God, so let me tell. But see, and
that's one step.
It is.
The story is just one step, and you have to be in the right space to kind of do it. Like, you know, people say, oh, telling your story is the catalyst to healing. That's just one part of it, and it's a big part of it, right? Like breaking that silence. But then there's the getting help, there's the support, there's making sure that we as a community also are supportive to help people when they do tell their stories. One of the things that the girls did, they created a coloring book. When you were talking about coloring book, how to help a friend when they're sexually assaulted. They, it was Village Leadership Academy, and our girlfriends, like teenage girls in 5th and 6th grade class, boys and girls, they collaborate to create like this coloring book about like, I wish I actually had it here to show you, but it was like, people don't have tools to help people to be compassionate about these issues, right? The first time you tell someone, whether it was on Facebook or like in person, and if people don't respond a certain way, that could be so damaging. So that was one of the things like I'm thinking about now, like how people, once people know about these things, like how people are responding to it in part of their healing process.
Yeah. And I think what I appreciate about the Me Too campaign is that it is people's story, but it's also this recognition of how many people have been affected. Like, I think that we take it for granted a little bit, and we don't think about it. So if we're in a room with women in general, and you ask them, have you ever been sexually harassed? Have you ever been street harassed? Have you ever been sexually assaulted? Have you ever been raped? Anything along those spectrum, and I would guarantee 80 to 90% of those women would raise their hand.
I think it was probably higher.
And if you live in Chicago,
well, yeah,
on the south side of Chicago,
absolutely,
everybody has been turned around, cackled at, whistled at, looked at. When you walk by on the street, you see street harassment every day. And
if you're a bartender, it's a normal thing.
Can I give a shout out actually to two things, right?
Yeah, shout out
to this amazing drawing in the background.
I see that.
It's Tatiana, an artist named Tatiana in New York City, and she drew our girls and asked them a question about like when they experience street harassment, what is the statement they would say to the harasser. And so this project she's been doing, it'll be its 5th year anniversary. But I think it's ironic that we're like in front of it, as we're like talking about street harassment.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, it says I shouldn't feel unsafe when I go outside. What if we were your daughter? It's called, her project's called Stop Telling Women to Smile. Stop Telling Women to Smile project. And her name is Tatiana. Amazing artist that does public art as a way to combat street harassment. So I just want to give a shout out because I was like, we're like in front of it, and like, what is this amazing drawing? She's an artist, and she's celebrating her 5th year of doing the project about street harassment. But I also want to say what's great about the Me Too campaign, and I don't want to, there's a erasure of like Black women's leadership. A Black woman started that project 10 years ago. 10 years ago, right? So like we have to think, and it's so amazing about these things. Like a lot of these things are founded and created the geniuses of Black women, right?
Yeah.
And then our history, our stories get erased about our leadership. So I want to like hold that sacred, like that she's been doing this work for so many years. And now she's getting spotlight, and not to like erase like who started this campaign, and continuing and leading her work in terms of sexual violence.
Yeah, and I think the same thing you said about like the Black Lives Matter
exactly.
movement.
That's why I was very protective. Like as a Black woman who leads and creates other leaders, young girls, Black girls leaders, like our work just gets co-opted all the time.
Oh yeah.
And
partially because we understand that we can't own it.
Yeah.
We can't hold it so close that we don't allow it to grow.
It's a movement.
So then
right?
we allow it to move because that's what you should do, and then we get erased from the beginning of it.
No, I mean,
that's like that is like that story. That is like the story. Family. I can't believe it. We're almost at the top of the hour. Where does the time go when we're doing this show? So at the end of the day, I hope you all understand the important work Alone Walk Home is doing in the community here in Chicago. Everything you're doing with the sisters. I mean, I'm just really ecstatic about the fact that we did the Purple Tie, and you all were like our nonprofit this year.
Like extremely
you were so great. So excited.
You guys were so amazing.
It
was
was
such
so
a
awesome.
Fabulous event. It was amazing.
And hopefully y'all seen the video. If not, I'll post it in the chat. we was cute. Hello. And all of you all really, B was working.
I was
so good.
Yeah, my wife was watching. She was working too. Don't want to. You were working too, homie.
Right.
All our volunteers, all of our sponsors, Sidetrack and Remy, and oh my God. I mean, it's just like. There's just like so many people that really helped make it successful. And you all gave money, you gave your time, and guess what? We presented the money today.
Oh my God.
It's about community accountability. We post all the time about the event. How can we not tell y'all about this part? Like, we not pocketing the money.
Right.
It's like
right.
Believe me, there's plenty of things I can do with your money, but I don't want it. We don't want it.
Really?
I mean, there is. It's like lots of things. My wife has a 40th birthday coming up.
But that's not what you. No, it's not, no.
I'm just saying, there's things.
That's not what you say as we're getting ready to present.
I'm just telling the people we legit with it. That's what I'm trying to get to the point of. But we legit with it.
On her.
And we always get money to the organization. Our goal for like the last 4 years has always been, well, first 2 years was like $500. The third year, our goal was $1,000, and this year our goal was $1,000 as well. And we actually raised $1,100, y'all! Yay! It's for real. It's like right here, and we get to get it.
So wonderful.
I wish we had the big check.
Oh my God, this is so wonderful.
Get that for the 5 years.
The 5 year big check.
Yeah, big check.
Oh, that'd be cute. That'd be cute.
Guys,
Thank you.
Thank you.
This will go towards the wonderful work that you do. And so I know it's just a drop in the bucket.
No, this will. I was gonna say this exactly. I'll tell you what this will fund, guys. This will fund us being able to hire a consultant to check in, a clinical therapist to check in with our girls. So, like, that is something that we only do normally in the summertime, and this will be able to help us with the after-school program. So this is going directly, like, as we were talking about mental health and checking in, and
Yes, absolutely.
this would go directly towards that. So I really
That is awesome.
know
That
what,
is
what you do with money that is, adding on to our budget.
Adding on to the budget.
That like allows us to do things that we want to do, but sometimes we can't afford to do. So thank you.
So disregard the thing that Anna had said prior to, about pocketing the money.
I'm saying we don't.
But I'm just saying you didn't have to say that as we were presenting.
But let me tell you why I said it. Because people do. So there are plenty of there are plenty of people who who throw events, have events, and you don't hear about where the money goes. You hear about embezzling, you hear about people not being fiscally responsible, and at the end of the day, if I post about something and I'm engaging you all and it's like an event that we're putting on, I want you to also be engaged in us giving the money where it needs to go, like into the good cause and being fiscally responsible with your $50, your $100, you know, your $200, your heart, you know, what you wanted to give, the sharing, all of it counted, all of it mattered, and this is just an opportunity for us to say thank you to you all. Give some money away, that always feels good, to an organization that totally deserves it, that's totally doing the work on the ground, and work that some of us wish we could do and don't have, or don't feel capable, don't feel like you have the time to, and so A Long Walk Home is a perfect organization for that. So we are excited about that.
Absolutely. So you guys stay tuned for the 5th year anniversary of the Purple Tie. Because we're planning to do it big for year 5. So we're putting this out there now.
I'm there.
So you can go ahead and save the date possibly. So we will be posting after, because we know the holidays, people are in holiday mode. This is coming up towards Thanksgiving, around Christmas, so people are not actually focused. So after the first of the year, begin to start seeing us post save the date. So that way you can already have it on your calendar, and that way you'll know, and we can have you in attendance. And if we can't have you in attendance, then we can have the contribution that you give.
That's it. It's going to be great. It is going to be fabulous. I can't believe we've been doing this for 5 years, and I think the 5th year is going to be pretty freaking special. So if you have suggestions on nonprofits that you think should be our benefactor, inbox us, let me know, let any of us know, and we're going to be deciding that over the next few months. We're actually looking to have like a nonprofit partner for the year, and we talked about doing that. We were going to do that, so then we would go to their events throughout the course of the year. We would help and just sort of be a partner leading up to the Purple Tie, which will, I think, it'll be a good cadence, and it'll be a really good idea to help support, and we can support each other throughout the course of the year.
And it makes the giving even more infectious and much more meaningful when we have been a part and partnered with them through the course of the year, because it is as if though, like, you know, hey, I'm familiar, I know. I can speak highly, even more so, and, you know, tell you about the different programs that are available or that they offer that you could possibly participate and volunteer for.
That's it. So we're excited about that, y'all. Yay! Purple Tie.
Hearts.
We had our debrief yesterday. The Purple Tie 4th annual is a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's officially over.
It's officially a wrap. I officially get a couple weeks break.
Oh.
It's really awesome.
Amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so family, this is it. We are signing off. This is what I need y'all to do, though, all right? I need y'all to share the video. I need y'all to come back next week. You know, same time, same place, same station here on E3 Radio. You know, it's okay. I'll call you back. Same time, same place, E3 Radio. You know, one stop for queer radio done right. Hey, DJ.
What's going on, little sister?
Hey. All right, y'all. It's been great. We'll see y'all next time.
Absolutely. Same bad time, same bad channel. And if you guys want to see about the Purple Tie that you missed, go ahead and tell Anna to post the video so you could see some snippets of what occurred during that time.
I'll post it because I like y'all. Maybe love you. All right, y'all. Peace.